Hi again guys, I thought I'd do a quick solve video of the Moyu or YJ Evil Eye puzzle. This is the closed eye version. I can't remember whether that means it's version 1 or version 2 offhand. But yeah, I've got an idea for a commentary that I might do over the top of this. We'll see how that comes out. If I'm silent, then you know I couldn't do it very well and decided not to add it to the video, so you might want to put some music on. And if I'm making noise, then please listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, I will actually do a tutorial for this at some point soon as well. I've got another few tutorials that I need to make that I've had requests for from viewers, so I need to get those out of the way first, I think. But yeah, this is it's not too difficult, this puzzle, but it's a bit challenging near the start of the solve, especially figuring out what colours you need to start off with. Yeah, it's a fun puzzle. Okay, I think I'm going to call that scrambled and we'll start the solve.
Okay, so what I thought to talk about over this video is how I go about approaching a new puzzle when I receive it. I've been asked this a few times, you know, how I determine how to solve a new puzzle that I haven't encountered before. So the first thing I do is look for any kinds of similarities between the new puzzle and any old puzzles I might have. For example, when I received the Diane Wheels of Wisdom, the first thing I thought of was the cross cube, the Calvin's cross cube, because you've got in a 3x3 mechanism, and then you've got 6 faces attached to it, which turn independently, and as you turn them, they don't affect any of the other sides of the puzzle. The only thing that you are turning is that particular circle or that particular face on the cross cube. You're not affecting any other layer of the puzzle when you turn it. So my immediate approach to trying to solve the Diane Wheels of Wisdom was to approach it exactly the same way as I solved the cross cube. So this puzzle that I'm solving now, this was basically the same sort of thing. I could see that turning a face didn't only affected that particular face, the points of the evil eye puzzle here, and so immediately I thought, well, this must be similar to a cross cube, and basically I solved it precisely the way I solved the cross cube. The only difference being there's no centres to worry about, so you can put the colours on any face. Another example would be the Smaz time machine, which yeah, basically the same, but it's a 2x2. But then I reached a situation where, because the pieces have a specific position they need to go in, as opposed to like the Diane Wheels of Wisdom, where you've got numerous copies of every piece, so you can use any of those pieces in any of the positions. The Smaz time machine has specific places for every single piece on each wheel. So I had to approach that one a little differently. I solved 4 of the faces the same way that I do the Wheel of Wisdom and the cross cube, and then that left me with 2 faces that I couldn't solve in that way. So I looked at what I've got 2 circles, each with 12 pieces on. When I turn the cube, I move 6 of those pieces from each face, and immediately that reminded me of the square 2 puzzle. That's exactly the situation you've got on a square 2. You've got 12 pieces that need pairing up. you've got each turn of the puzzle moves half of each of those two faces, so I could basically adapt the way I solve a square 2 to solve the final two faces on the Smash Time Machine. So once again, I'm basically using techniques I know from other puzzles. Now this doesn't always work. For example, I've been struggling to solve the Tom Z and Calvin's puzzles constrained cube 90 lately. Now I thought I'd be able to solve that using, well, I still do actually, but using the kind of ultimate solution type of solving method. I still do think that's probably the way to go about it, but I haven't actually managed to figure it out exactly how to apply it yet. That still needs some work. But I thought I'd be able to do it just the same way I've done other puzzles. Again, with things like let's see, the helicopter cube, I knew that because I got that quite a bit after I got the curvicopter. Now I knew that was based on the same thing, so basically you could go about solving it the same way. If I can't find any situations that are completely familiar to me on the new puzzle, such as the one that springs to mind most now is the Super Popman Gigaminx that I did a sticker mod for. The centres, the building up the centres was going fine until the last two centres, and I really struggled on those. I found a way to cycle 5 of the pieces, but it was just too difficult to keep track of, too complex to plan ahead for. I needed a 3 cycle. So the way I approached that was trying to find a commutator that would just cycle 3 of the centres, and eventually I managed to figure one out, and it turns out it's a very useful commutator that it will cycle 3 pieces on many different puzzles. I use it on various puzzles now, and one of those is the recent unboxings I've done with the Cane Ball and the Tribes Octahedron. That commutator cycles the centerpieces on those puzzles really well as well. Well, perfectly well. You can get a 3 cycle on those, so that makes my centerpiece on those possible to be done at the end of the solve, which makes the puzzle a lot more kind of intuitive to solve for me, because they are. I don't think it's really a good way to try and solve those by using the irregular 4x4 methods. So basically I use the commutator to cycle the centerpieces as the final part of the solve. I will have a tutorial of this going out very soon, so if you watch that you'll see what I mean with that. So yeah, that's basically how I go about approaching a new puzzle. If I'm completely stuck, I see nothing wrong with finding a tutorial online. If I do find I need a tutorial, I won't just go and watch the entire thing. I'll watch the video or read the text if it happens to be on a website rather than YouTube, but more often than not it's a YouTube video. But what I will do is just find a hint, something that I hadn't realised, and then take that hint away, go away, and try and solve the puzzle again. If I'm still quite stuck, I'll go back to the video again and find another hint. I will always try to solve a puzzle by myself, but if I can't, then it's better to get a little hint and then still be able to solve the puzzle, I think, than it is to have the puzzle that you can never ever really solve. So that's basically the way I go about it. As I say, I see nothing wrong with that. As long as I'm not actually just being told how to solve the entire thing without any real thought on my own part about how to go about it, kind of thing. I'm not really concerned I mean, obviously, it's a greater feeling of satisfaction to have solved the puzzle by yourself without any outside help. But you know, if you do need a little, then go ahead and take it, sort of thing. You know, it's much more fun to have a puzzle that you can solve than a puzzle that's just going to sit on your shelves in a scrambled state and never be played with because it's too frustrating for you. So that's the way I see it, anyway. So anyway, I've pretty much run out of things to say on this subject now, I think, and we're coming towards the end of this solve on the Evil Eye puzzle in here now, anyway. So I'll let you watch the end of that and listen to what I said at the end of the solving process when I was recording it.
Okay, so as you can see, that's now solved. You may have noticed I've got a bit of a cock up there in the middle of the solve. I paired up the wrong pieces and had to restart that section again. Near the end there, I got a lucky solve on the final face. All I needed was 2 edges to swap, which is quite unusual. But yeah, other than that, it's not too tricky to solve, but it's an interesting challenge. You might have noticed me looking around to see what colours needed to go where near the start of the solve. I think that's probably the trickiest thing to work out on this puzzle, figuring out the colour scheme if you haven't memorised it, and I deliberately avoid memorising it so that I have to figure it out each time, because that's a fun part of the solve as far as I'm concerned. Alright then guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care now, bye.